This episode of Two Beers Till Takeoff is sponsored by No Days Wasted, a leader in the hangover supplement industry. Listeners can now get 15% off their next purchase by using promo code 2beers. That's 2beers, beers in capital at checkout. Live life or your next trip to the maximum with No Days Wasted.
As soon as I put my fork down, my whole body starts to tingle and my mouth, and I'm like, that's weird. Why have I got pins and needles around my body? That's strange. All of a sudden, I get my phone out and I get the camera out and I look at my tongue. My tongue's like quadrupled in size. And I'm like, holy shit, what's going on?
Hello and welcome to Two Beers Till Takeoff, the podcast inspired by conversations overheard at the airport bar. Join Phil as he grabs a couple of beers and chats with interesting people from around the world, sharing expert knowledge and hilarious stories that you won't find in your guidebook. So pull up a stool and get ready for an adventure as we explore worlds of travel and beyond with Two Beers Till Takeoff.
4 hours in a Taliban headquarters.
I had dog meat in Laos.
Was it Golden Retriever?
Smack a dirty old smooch on our beautiful fish right here.
He didn't die, but he fell down the side of the mountain.
Hello and welcome to Happy Hour. My name is Phil and today's guest is a British backpacker slash YouTuber and he's fresh off the plane from his South American adventures. Stick around till the end of the episode as we do our top 5 best action movies. Backed by popular demand. Welcome to the show, Backpacker Ben.
Hello, mate. Good to be back.
What's going on with you, buddy?
Yeah, still got a bit of jet lag, but like you said, fresh off the plane with some stories to share.
Fucking right. Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
So we've just been, I guess before we jump into it, you and I have been just chatting a little bit, figuring out a time to record. And you've told me that and also been following on your Instagram that you're into fitness now. You've been hitting the bottle maybe a little bit in South America, and now you're looking to get that beach bod ready for the summer. What are you doing it?
Yeah, so I've got a good 4 to 6 weeks back home where I just want to do zero drinking, just eat clean, because South America ruined me. As you know, it's a drinking culture there.
A lot of fried food.
Yeah, a lot of food, a lot of drinking culture. The nightlife there is pretty wild, so it's good to have a little break here in England.
Yeah, absolutely. So listen, maybe let the listeners know what type of fitness are you in? Are you doing some martial arts? Are you doing some gym stuff? What does that look like?
Yeah, no, just basic gym stuff, mate. I've got a trainer. I used to be a trainer myself, but I need someone to motivate me at my old age. So 5-6 days a week, just basic weights, mate. Some cardio, nothing too crazy, and strict diet.
Nice. Yeah, that's the tough part.
Yeah,
especially around Easter.
Oh man.
But no, yeah. So I guess I'm on the train as well. For me, I didn't take a personal trainer, but I found that if I'm doing like a sport or something I can see progress in what I'm doing. That's what's keeping me in the gym. So like I started doing a bit of boxing, and because of that, I'm like, okay, I need to go to the gym. I need to run. You know what I mean? That's what kind of motivates me.
Yeah, exactly.
Growing, I guess, in boxing. But yeah, it's good. It's good to hit the gym. You know, summer's coming.
Absolutely, you've got to see progress, otherwise you don't pursue going further. So yeah, little small goals.
Oh yeah, exactly. Got to stay healthy. So listen, let's jump into it. You just recently got back from South America and Central America. So you went to Brazil, Colombia, Peru, Mexico. Since it's so fresh, let's just maybe give us an overview of how that was.
First time in South America, loved Brazil. Peru was a bit manic because it was a lot of brutal travel. Did some horrendous journeys there. In the high altitude mountains, through the Amazon. My God, it was insane. And lots of different climates and everything. So that was pretty crazy. And then into Colombia. Colombia was hit and miss. Not my favorite place. Hard to film. Pretty dodgy at times. And then I worked my way up to Mexico. Mexico was amazing, mate. One of my favorite countries. Loved it. The food, my God, one of the best places I've ever been for food. People were great.
Where did you go in Mexico?
Yeah, so I was in Mexico City for a week and then just worked my way around the area and then went back to Cancun. Touristy place, but still good.
Nice. My cousin just got back from the West Coast, and I've also heard good things about Oaxaca, but
same.
There just seems to be like a surfer kind of kind of little villages and stuff like that. It just seems like really a hidden gem.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people in North America go to Mexico and they just do the resort thing because
Yeah.
obviously all the news that you hear is cartel this and cartel that, and people tend to stay on resorts. But what they don't know is that there's, like you're saying, so much more to this country.
Well, Mexico is massive, so much to see. I want to go back there one day and do it properly, but you need at least a month there because it's massive.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I want to pick a bone with you a little bit here. So you said that you didn't enjoy Peru. I watched some of your Peruvian videos, and I think you didn't give Peru a fair shot
Oh, I
because
did, mate. I gave it a shot, all right. I did
if
everything.
you're stuck on a boat for what is it, 25 hours or 40 hours or how much was it?
I did 28 hours on one boat and then 3 days on another boat. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So did you get to see Machu Picchu?
First of all, I didn't dislike Peru. I actually liked Peru, but I just said it was brutal travel. The country overall I actually enjoyed.
Fair enough.
But Machu Picchu
Fair
was
enough.
closed because of the protests.
Oh, right.
I couldn't even go there. I would have done it obviously, but yeah, it was closed, so I couldn't even do that. But I landed in Cusco. Cusco was awesome, but I was just there for one night, and then off we went. We did the trip, and it was just brutal, mate. Long journeys. Yeah, it was yeah, it was wild.
Oh man, there's a video of you, and it's funny because my fiance, when we did it, like she also is not the best in cars, car sick, altitude sickness.
Yeah.
She definitely gets triggered by that. You experienced that. How was that? How did you get
Horrendous,
through
mate.
it?
Obviously, I've been in high altitude places before, like in the Himalayas, and
Mm.
some days I'm okay, some are really bad. But in Peru, it
Yeah.
was sort of like it hits you in a different way. Like maybe I don't know why, but yeah, all of a sudden you're on these high mountain roads. There's nothing around for miles, and you just feel like death. And I was throwing up on the side of the road. We were jammed in this bus at one point, back of the seat. Oh, it's going around all these mountains. Oh man, it was insane. Just like car sickness.
When I first saw it, I was like, is he hungover? Is that why he's sick right now?
Yeah, when you got altitude sickness, it does feel like a hangover. It's similar.
It does, yeah.
And yeah, it's not a nice experience, the altitude. But it was all right. It was good.
Yeah, so my theory, I guess, is if a country's train is rough, the roads are going to be rough too.
The train?
So I did the train, I guess, going to Machu Picchu.
Oh, I didn't know there was
and
one.
the train, yeah. So it's compared to Europe standards, it's nowhere near
Of course not.
what you guys have. But I mean, yeah. So it was a bit rough. You're shaking around and stuff like. It's a beautiful trip, but it's definitely a little bit rough. Where did you touch in Brazil?
We did a few places. Rio was amazing. One of my favorite cities I've ever been. Loved it. We were there for like a week, and then we went to a place called Parate. Don't know if you know that.
Okay,
That was pretty good. It's like an old
No.
old Portuguese sort of colony vibe to it. That was pretty good. Then we went to Sao Paulo. Sao Paulo was fucked. Didn't enjoy that. There for a few hours.
It sucks.
Yeah, it was grim. It was not a safe place to be. So we left after a few hours. And then we flew to Salvador. And Salvador was good, to be fair. I enjoyed it. They call it the Africa of Brazil. Good food, good people.
Yeah, Salvador is beautiful.
There was some dangerous parts there. And we got into a couple situations. And obviously I was with Kat. So I have to like take care of her as well as myself. So it's added pressure. But overall it was okay. It was good.
Yeah. Did you stay in the historic region of Salvador?
Yeah, it was pretty grim around there, mate. Couldn't we got there and I was like, holy
Dodgy as fuck,
shit, like this place is minging. There was crackheads running around, and we got to the hotel and they were like, listen, don't go outside now. You're gonna get either kidnapped or bloody your stuff's gonna get stolen. I was like, I'm starving, and they were like, nah, we'll bring you some food. So they brought us some food, and then the next day we left, and we went to like the ocean side of things where it was a bit more touristy, but obviously safer for us to walk around at night time.
Mm. Yeah, I remember when we were there, my buddy and I, we did our last night out together in Salvador. We went, not sure exactly where we went, but we went where there was like clubs and whatever. And on our way home, because we know that in the old city center, typically there's not a ton of stuff open at night because they, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of
Yeah.
police guards or military people with like guns and stuff. So we take an Uber who stops to get McDonald's because of course, right? Get McDonald's. And then so he's driving us back to the city center. And while we're walking, you know what I mean? There's a portion where cars can't go past, like it's like just for pedestrians. This fucking guy shows up and pulls out a knife and tries to rob us for our McDonald's.
Jesus, did you give up the McDonald's?
No,
no way.
Luckily, there's a cop who showed up, but yeah, I just started running.
Oh mate,
Yeah,
you just hear so many stories. That's the problem with South America. It was good, but like you're never like totally relaxed, are you? There's always something like on the next street, and you speak to so many tourists, and they're like, "Yeah, I got robbed at gunpoint," like, "Oh, I got spiked." It's like, fucking hell, like it's kind of put me off going back, to be honest.
Yeah, I think.
But obviously, there's more countries there. So Argentina, Chile, these places.
Yeah,
Obviously.
and I haven't been to those, but from what I understand, they're a bit safer than some of the Colombias, the Brazils.
Yeah, I'd never go back to Colombia. No reason to. Done that. Brazil, I probably would.
Me too, yeah.
Because it's massive, and I really enjoyed Brazil. But yeah, the other countries like Bolivia and that, they said it's pretty rough there. So I don't know. I don't know if I will go there. I'm not sure, mate. It's so far as well. Like it's a long flight.
Yeah, Bolivia, the salt flats are quite popular. Obviously, there's a lot of people who. I've had people on this podcast literally say salt flats are the shit, and I've had people say the salt flats are shit. So like completely two sides of the coin. So it's kind of hard. I think you kind of have to go to have your own opinion about it. But I just think that South America, there's just so much left to uncover. I feel like we know some portions. We know you know what I mean, the cities. But like once you kind of go out of those cities, sometimes there's just so much treasure to find. That's what I found, I guess, in my experience. Like, for example, we were in Peru and then we didn't realize that there's like a desert in the south of the country.
In Peru? Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, you're right.
And like, I expected like, oh, it's going to be, you know, a bit sandy, like dunes.
Yeah, massive dunes. Same in Colombia.
You know, yeah. So it's just, yeah, for me, I like you said, it's undeniably dangerous, but you have to be very cautious. But there's some really cool stuff to see there. Where did you go in Colombia?
Bogota, one of the worst cities I've ever been.
Worst.
Absolute dump. Dangerous.
Yeah.
It was horrendous, mate. We were there for like 4 days, and we flew to Medellin. It's like a half an hour flight. Yeah. And Medellin was all right. They had its nice areas, but like downtown again, mate. Like I went out to film. I had these two local girls showing me around, and I just couldn't film anything because everyone was like, "Put your camera away. Don't film me. Don't film that." I'm just like, "Fuck this!" Like I give up. So I left Colombia because of I couldn't get any footage, mate. And obviously, I'm hugely to blame with my terrible Spanish skills. I learned a few phrases, but yeah, if I was to go back to South America, I would definitely spend at least a couple months practicing because I only spent I had like 2 weeks notice to go, so didn't have any time.
Yeah, it is. And also I think like you were lucky that, you know, in some parts you were with Kat, who I think speaks Portuguese.
Yeah,
correct?
Portuguese, Spanish, and obviously Bold speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
So they got those two sorted me out.
Yeah, so like when we went, we didn't realize the first time we went to South America in Spanish-speaking countries, we didn't realize the level of English was going to be so low in some places.
Nothing.
Like for example, like in Colombia, at the airport, the guy, I was like, "Habla inglés?" learn just kind of the basics. And he was like,
Yeah.
no. I was like, oh shit, like this is going to be real deal,
Yeah,
man.
no,
Lot of pointing and smiling and like, oh
yeah,
no.
it's like it's a nightmare. But it's the way it is. They speak Spanish, it's fine. But yeah, I definitely have to learn some more when I go back. The only problem is I learned like basic phrases, but when you use those phrases, they assume, oh, you speak Spanish. They speak back to you in fluent Spanish, rapid, super fast, and I'm just like, no español, and they're just like, oh,
Minuto.
yeah. So I just think it's better off if you don't speak Spanish, just don't even bother trying because you just get into a stupid situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you definitely help yourself if you say like, hey, can you speak English before you speak English? That one I undeniably works.
I just go, yeah,
Like,
English, por favor, and then they go, nope, and I go, never, don't worry, see you later. I'll just leave.
oh fuck,
I'll
that's
use the
funny.
translator app, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, shouldn't there be an app for this, like that just automates everything?
Yeah.
Did you get a chance to see any football games while you're there?
Yeah, I went to what country was it? Well, I went to the what's the name of the Mexican football stadium, the one with the Maradona handball.
Estadio.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I went to that one.
Yeah.
I watched
Okay, nice.
Cruise, I think they're called, or Crew. Empty stadium. There's only about 10,000 people there, but that was pretty cool. And I wanted to go to some in Brazil, but I wasn't in the city when the games were on, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, didn't line up.
Yeah, it didn't line up.
Yeah, we went to go see one in Colombia, in Medellin, and initially my girlfriend or fiance, she was like we had two options for tickets. We had either the like chill middle seats where it's like bipartisan, so there's nobody like of either team, and then there's the ends that we could get that apparently we found out was going to be the crazy fan section. And she was like let's just take the safe route, like fuck this, like I don't want to be dealing with soccer hooligans, football hooligans.
But I think if you're with the
Football.
if you're with the football hooligans, I reckon they'd be fine, like super friendly, because
Yeah,
they just want to show you a
yeah,
good
yeah.
time. And if you're there supporting the same
And that,
team, they'll be loving that. So I think it'd be fine if you went there. But yeah, you got to be careful, especially if you're with your girlfriend or something. So you never know.
yeah, and exactly. So what we did is we bought a couple jerseys, we fit in with everybody, and man, it was insane.
Yeah,
It was it was 90 minutes of people jumping up and down, going absolutely apeshit, just
non-stop.
losing their minds.
Yeah,
Fireworks in the crowd, like just instruments. It was the biggest party in town.
yeah.
It was
I don't think they even
yeah,
watched the game.
can't recommend it enough.
They're just
Exactly.
there to have a laugh. So it's good. Yeah, I want to experience that myself.
Yeah. I've never been to a game in England. What's the experience like there?
Depends where you go, mate. The best atmosphere would be the low leagues, your championships, your League Ones. The Premier League now, as you know, is just completely dramatized. It's not the same as it used to be. Growing up, it was the best. It was the best league in the world for like fans and stuff, but not anymore.
Yeah.
Obviously, it depends what stadium. Newcastle are probably the best fans, or maybe Liverpool fans. But if you go to Old Trafford now, it's just all tourists and stuff. Like Manchester City, I mean, they don't even have any fans. It's just it's all tourists that go there.
Glory hunters.
Glory, yeah, it's crap, mate. So football's definitely changed in terms of who's got the best fans and stuff, and where's the best place for atmosphere. So, but still good. It's still a good laugh. Obviously, I'm a United fan. It's a 7-hour drive from where I live, so it's pretty hard to go.
Fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty far. And you guys, you're not able to be sold booze. Like you can't buy a beer during the game, correct?
You can drink inside the where the bars are. It's not really a bar. It's like a cafe below the stadium, but you can't go to a seat with a beer. No. Obvious reasons. British people, we drink, we turn into wankers. I completely understand why we ban alcohol because, yeah, we're dickheads.
The only group of people that use bottle as a verb.
Yeah, and just we're ourselves, mate. There's a reason everyone hates the English. We're absolute wankers.
Oh fuck. So Ben, so you came on previously, and when you last left us, you were going to Japan and Vietnam. So can you update us on how that trip was?
Yeah, amazing, mate. Second time in Japan, second time in Vietnam. Loved it. The food in Japan is like next level. That's one of the main reasons I went there. It's just like it's insane, and I just like it. It's like even though it's like the busiest, one of the busiest cities in the world, Tokyo. It's super clean, super safe. You drop your wallet on the floor, you're gonna get it back. Same with your phone. Um, and then obviously down to Vietnam from more of a adventure side of things and loved it. We drove from north to south as far as we possibly could, but the rain was pissing it down, so we sacked it off and got on trains and buses instead because it was the rain, mate, was just relentless. Like it was the heaviest rain I've ever seen, and we're driving on these shitty little bikes, soaked,
Mm,
like it was horrendous. So yeah, both amazing countries. I can't wait to go back. It'd probably be this year.
yeah. Japan, just from like I've never been, but from the sounds of it, is almost like it's the opposite of South America safety wise.
Yeah, complete opposite. You'll have zero issues there, no matter what. Nothing's going to happen to you. Impossible. Simple as that. Nothing dangerous will happen to you in Japan.
Mm, yeah. And in Vietnam, did you get to do the Hajang Loop?
What's that?
It's like a famous loop that people do.
I don't know. We did
Yeah, that's nice.
what's that bloody highway called? The Ho Chi Minh Highway. We did the Ho Chi Minh Highway from north to south, but obviously sacked it off because it was pissing it down. So we made it about halfway.
Yeah. Okay. And like for you, Ben, I'm just curious because I guess we're considering going to Asia next, and I've never driven, I guess, a moped, motorbike. I guess I've driven like quads, stuff like that. Had you driven mopeds, motorbikes, or whatever before you went to Vietnam?
Only a few times in Thailand about 7 or 8 years ago, but I fell off and like nearly broke my leg. So that put me off doing it again. But then I did it again in a few other countries, just like small 50cc bikes, which is like the slowest moped you can get. So I got to Vietnam,
Mm.
and the two friends I was with, Bold and Tim, they were like, "Listen, we're going to get these bikes," and I was like, "Nah, they're too fast." He's like, "Ah, you'd be all right." I was like, "Well, I've got to do it now. If these two are getting it, I've got to fucking get it, and I." So they get these fast bikes, just normal mopeds, but like faster than ones I've used before. I'm like, fuck's sake.
Yeah.
So I take it on. We literally go, right, here you go. So drive it from this street to the next street and just give it a test. Did it. It was fine. He went, right, you're good to go. I was like, hold on. I've been driving this for about 4 seconds and you expect me to drive this 1,000 miles down to the end of Vietnam? And he's like, yeah, you'd be all right. And I was all right, to be fair. I did fall off, but that wasn't my fault. But it was kind of my fault. And the bike got smashed up. I instigated.
It was the beer's fault.
Yeah, I instigated a race, and yeah, it led to me falling off the bike. So it was my fault. End of the day. And but yeah, you'll be fine, mate. If you've never driven a bike, you'll get the hang of it after like 5 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry. I think I should rephrase. I guess my question is, I've driven a bike, but not in this type of traffic. What's the traffic like? How's that maneuvering through that?
Horrible, scary. It's mental, mate. Like you got to look over both your shoulders at all times. There's all sorts of stuff like coming at you. Traffic lights aren't a thing there. You just drive through the red light. It's nuts, mate. Honestly, it's nuts.
Fuck.
No one's got a license.
So just close your eyes and
like you
just close your eyes at intersections and just gun it.
Yeah, we turned up for the bike rental and we're like, oh, show them passports, licenses, and they're like, oh, we don't want this. He's like, what, you don't want to see my license? They're like, mate, you're in Vietnam. Off you go. You chuck them a bit of money and then that's it. You got a bike. Don't show them any license, nothing. So weird.
What a country.
I know, but I love it.
And I guess yeah. So you love this country so much that now you're planning to do a group tour in Vietnam. Can you tell the listeners a little bit more about that? what that entails, when that's going to occur, and if people want to join, how they can do that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to move away from. Well, I'm still going to do YouTube for another couple of years, but in the long term, I want to do travel groups. So I want to bring people to these countries I've been to before and just have a laugh, mate. Just, no dangerous countries or anything. Just go to like places that are good travel experience, good culture, got everything, good weather, good food, good drinks, everything. So I thought Vietnam for the first place. And yeah, I just want to bring, I don't know, 10 people, 15, whoever it is, and see how it goes, really. Just show them the way. Because a lot of these people are on their own. They won't go, their mates won't go with them. So I'm there
Yeah.
offering that tour. Yeah, mate.
Nice. So I guess have you decided, I guess, what the itinerary is going to look
I
like?
don't do it. So I'm working with a company because
Okay.
I've done this before. I've done 2 or 3 times where I've announced I'm doing a tour and it's me planning it, doing the itinerary, doing the hotel bookings, and it got too much, mate, too stressful. And so when a company reached out to me and said, listen, we'll do everything. All you need to do is get the numbers. I was like, yeah, too right. Like, let me sort out the numbers. You guys do everything. So that's it, mate. Hopefully people do it.
Nice. Nice. So I guess if people are interested in joining this trip, what do they do? How can they join?
Shit, I don't know. They have to follow my Instagram and I do like daily like links basically where they click the link and it goes to a page, they do their details and then goes from there really, mate. Pretty straightforward.
Okay, cool. Cool. Sounds fun.
Yes.
Uh, so listen, I saw this in the news and immediately I thought of you. There's a man, a YouTuber called Lord Miles,
Oh god, yeah.
who in for those who haven't heard the news, Lord Miles he was recently imprisoned by, is it
Taliban, yeah.
Taliban police or something like that in Afghanistan.
Yep.
So looking at this guy's content, it looks like it's kind of his thing to get kidnapped or get imprisoned.
Yeah, he's a nutter. He really is a nutter.
And and of course he's a British guy. He's a British boy. What are your
Well,
thoughts? What are your thoughts,
he's a
man?
fellow Brit like me, so we're all nutters and yeah, we go for the craziest stuff. But unfortunately, he shouldn't have gone back. Like I would never go back to that country after what happened with us because it was just too intense. And he's playing with fire the first time. He's gone back the second time, and now apparently I don't know the story. I don't know the
Exactly.
story. So apparently he's been arrested by the Taliban for snooping around, maybe going to places he shouldn't be going to without a guide. I don't know the story, but and you know what media like, they could jump on it and make it sound worse than it actually is, but we don't know the story.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. I'm sure he's a good lad. I've seen his videos. I've actually watched his videos and commented on his most recent one where he went to Snake Island in Brazil. I mean, fucking what a nutter. And I said, oh, nice video, mate. Fair play. But when I found out he's back in Afghanistan and arrested by the Taliban, I was like, okay, like, why on earth has he gone back there? Because I certainly won't be.
Listen, I'm interested to have him on. I'd love to talk to the guy, but that can be a smart idea. See, like I read just kind of briefly the news clippings of what came out, and from what it sounds like, he said he went the first time, had to be airlifted by British.
Yeah, he got saved by some squad or something. I don't know the story, but so they had
Yeah,
to send a rescue team out to get him.
yeah, exactly. And then the second time, now what they're claiming has happened is that he had a weapon in his safe at his hotel or something
Really?
like that. I don't
I've
know.
heard some other stories
Yeah, but I mean,
what he was doing. I heard he was on the border of China.
what was it?
So, and I also that was one story. I also heard another story saying he was just traveling around without a guide, which is a big no-no because they'll assume you're a spy or a journalist or something, and that's a no. That's a big no in Afghanistan. So you got to be super careful. But it's you know what rumors are like. Stories escalate. We don't know the full story
Mm,
until when he hopefully comes out soon. Hopefully he does, because yeah, it's put a big
yeah.
dent on the tourism again in Afghanistan. Because I had many people that were going to go, YouTubers, just normal people that have seen my videos. They just want to go, but now because of
Yeah.
what's happened, they've messaged me saying I'm not going anymore. They're scared, and I'm like, totally understand. Don't blame you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true that we don't realize what his actions, I guess, impact this country's tourism, right?
Exactly,
Like
mate.
yeah, it's unfortunate, but I guess maybe it's a wake up call that it can be a reality if you're not
Yeah,
careful.
well, a lot of
Hopefully he doesn't have to. Hopefully he doesn't have to go a third
so
time.
a lot of tourists have been going, especially after mine. Well, Bold's video got like 5 million views, something crazy. Mine got okay, but obviously people are like, oh, if
Yeah.
these two are going, I'm gonna go. So a lot of people have been going in and out, in and out. And I've had like
Mm.
smaller YouTubers reach out to me and just normal, and I'm looking at their thing and I'm thinking, these guys haven't experienced like craziness, and they've been to maybe India, and it's like India's pretty crazy, but it's not Afghanistan crazy. And I'll message him saying, listen, mate, like Afghanistan's a different kettle of fish. It's not what you think. I know it's close to these countries, but it's so intense there. Like you've got to be so careful. You've got to be really street smart, experienced traveler. And they're just like, oh, really? I didn't realize. I thought it was all right. I'm like, no, no, no. You've got to be so careful.
It's Afghanistan still, dude. Like
Yeah, exactly.
the Taliban have taken over the country, which arguably could be a good or bad thing, but it's the case.
Exactly. So you've got to be so careful. And that's it, really. I've told a lot of people. I'm just straight up honest. I'm not like, yeah, go. It's great. I'm like, it was great, but still, you got to be careful. Simple as that.
Ben, listen, I've got a question for you, bud. I came across some of your content and I was looking to see if you could maybe tell a story. I was listening to some of your Tanzania stuff, and I was wondering if you could maybe tell a little story about some tuna fish.
The tuna fish. Oh Jesus. Yeah. So I was in Tanzania for 3 months during lockdown. I couldn't take lockdown anymore, so I flew to a country where there was no lockdown. That was Tanzania, and spent
Mm.
like 8 weeks on the island of Zanzibar, just getting pissed every night. Literally complete freedom compared to the rest of the world. It was amazing. So yeah, spent 8 weeks there, and yeah, so I was eating. I went to a restaurant on the side of the beach, and this like shitty little side road, and it said tuna catch of the day. So I'm like eating it, but it was like raw in the middle, and I'm thinking, oh, that's all right, like raw fish, you eat sushi and stuff. So I'm just eating it. I'm eating it. As soon as I put my fork down, my whole body starts to tingle and my mouth, and I'm like, that's weird. Why have I got pins and needles around my body? That's strange. All of a sudden, I get my phone out and I get the camera out and I look at my tongue. My tongue's like quadrupled in size, and I'm like, holy shit, what's going on? So I go to the lady. I'm like, is there something spicy? You're like, spicy? And she's like, oh my God, you're allergic to tuna steak. I'm like, no, I'm fucking not. I eat tuna all the time. She goes, nah, this is different. This is different tuna steak here. And I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like, what do I do? I need to go to hospital or something. There's no hospital on this island, mate. I'm on this tiny little like beach area. She's like, there's one down the road, a little like health tent. So I'm like, right, I'll see in a bit. She went, oh, you need to pay for your bill first. I'm like, hold on a fucking minute, you've nearly killed me. So I'll pay you after. So I got this health tent,
If I make it.
and she's like, this local lady, and she's like, oh, you need to throw up that fish, like get it out of your system. So I'm there, like fingers down my throat, just regurgitating this like fish out my. It took like an hour to get it all out, but my heart rate was 180 beats per minute. They took my heart rate, and my whole body turned into hives. So like my whole body was all hivey. Hivey, is that a word? Like a rash,
Probably.
complete rash on my entire body. It was terrifying, mate. My throat closed over. I couldn't breathe, and I'm trying to throw up. And yeah, mate, one of the scariest moments ever. For about an hour, 2 hours, I was completely fucked. And eventually, it like calmed down. This fish got out of my system, and who knows, mate? If I didn't puke out that fish, I'd be dead. Who knows, mate? Who knows?
Holy, so what did they give you some drugs, or you just puked it out and it was fine?
Yeah, I puked it out, and they gave me loads of like antihistamines. Mate, it's a small little tent on the side of the road, like not at all hospital, like a small tent with a lady inside.
Just one of the one beautiful wonders of traveling, eh?
Yes, mate.
Getting a little sick.
Yes, many more to come, unfortunately. Jesus.
Yeah. Listen, let's I think this is a good transition to the top five. But before we get to that, I need to address something. I initially said, Ben, let's do a top five. Here's some topics that we can talk about and each do our top five list. I said we could do, something around travel, something around movies, or around music. And you said, can't do music. I'm dog shit at music. What does that mean?
So my music taste,
Yeah, yeah. What does that mean? You don't have any music tastes?
I do, but it's like, mate, the older you get, the more you don't follow music anymore. So I'm 30 and I haven't changed my Spotify playlist in about 7 years or something. So it's all just British bands, Oasis, The Verve. I just listen to it all the time, the same stuff over and over again. So yeah, that's my dog shit music taste, mate. Really.
I thought you were gonna say pop. To be honest,
Nah, no, no,
I'd still listen to that over.
no.
I no, because I think in one of your videos, Bald was also giving you some shit for not knowing the Beatles or something like that.
Yeah, I don't. I know obviously know the Beatles are, but I couldn't name you two songs. Maybe three songs max.
Yeah, I mean, you should probably know a couple of those, but no. Listen, for me, as long as it's not pop, I'm good. I was just curious because you said when somebody says I don't know music, I was like, okay, well, does that mean that one, you don't listen to music, or that you're not well versed? You know what I mean? There's two different things.
Yeah, I'm just so behind on like the current music as well. I couldn't tell you anything. If they say name the top 10 artists right now, I honestly couldn't say anything, mate. Nothing. Little
Okay.
Wayne? Little Wayne?
No,
I don't know.
yeah, it's Little Wayne.
Nah, I'm joking. Obviously, I know who Little Wayne is. But top 10 right
Of
now,
course.
couldn't tell you anything, mate. No idea.
Uh, yeah, no, same as me, man. Like I don't listen to, like I said, I don't listen to pop. I listen to a lot of the stuff I used to listen in high school, and yeah, rock music. So and some country.
Yeah,
That's what I listen to.
yeah, same.
But anyways, let's get to our top five best action movies. Listeners will get their chance to vote for their favorite of the two teams on the Two Beers Will Take Off Instagram page this Sunday. So Ben, as the guest, you go first, and then I go second, third. You go fourth, fifth. You understand the sequence?
Yep, so I'm just saying my top five favorite movies, right?
So what's your number one?
My number one is Goodfellas.
Oh, that's a fucking good one. That's
Classic.
yeah, Oscar winning movie, right? You got De Niro, Pesci,
Joe Pesci,
like those are
Ray Liotta.
Ray Liotta, yeah. That's a great one. You know what's funny about that movie? I actually watched Lethal Weapon. I don't know if you've ever seen Lethal Weapon.
No.
So in Lethal Weapon, Joe Pesci plays a character equivalent to what he plays in like Home Alone.
Yeah. So he's like a comedy.
No, it's not a comedy, but he kind of plays like this like goofy character.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I kind of knew him as that, and then I watched Goodfellas, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Absolute lunatic. Legend, mate. I love him.
Yeah, what a movie.
Yeah, that's my all-time favorite, number one.
So number one, I am going a movie that was you can maybe throw it in sci-fi a little bit, but for me, I see it as an action movie. There's a lot of fight scenes. The Matrix.
Yeah, brilliant film, mate. Brilliant. I forgot about that one.
I love.
Awesome film.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's a movie that I think the more and more we go into the future. Like I rewatched it like maybe a year ago, and I was just like, man, how the fuck did they think of this concept?
Because it's real, mate.
And
Matrix
two,
is real.
well, it's just like you look at like inventions like Elon Musk's what's that one? It's like an implant in your brain. I'm forgetting the name.
I've no idea.
Uh,
The little chip, microchip.
it's a company called Neuralink,
Oh yeah,
and essentially yeah. So what they are claiming that they'll be able to possibly do is have this chip in your head, and then you can download stuff. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't that just sound like the Matrix? Like
terrifying,
it's
mate.
just
Terrifying.
yeah,
But
yeah,
The
exactly.
Matrix,
So
100% one of the best films ever made, no question. The third, the new one was absolute shite. I don't know if you've seen that.
dude, the new one is essentially the first one just remade.
Yeah, I was so confused. They kept playing old scenes with like, I was so confused. I watched it on a plane going somewhere, and I couldn't. See, I was like, I'm gonna watch it because I got like 7 hours in this plane, and it was
I
agony
was
to
like,
watch.
I know what fucking happens. Red pill, blue pill. Like I know.
It was torture watching it. I was like, what is this shit? But the first one, masterpiece, no question. My next
Yeah.
movie would be Pulp Fiction.
Oh, hold on. I got number two. You got three, four. That's the
Oh
advantage of
shit,
going
okay.
first. I get that. I get the advantage of going twice. So number two, I'm going The Born Identity.
Yeah, good trilogy. Well, four
Oh,
of them, I think.
it's I consider it a trilogy. The Matt Damon ones were sick. Born Identity for me was yeah. When I think of action, that's what I think. I think of Born, right? This guy who's a super agent dude who's yeah, great fight
Yep.
scenes, great movies. Like you said, trilogy. Not the movies afterwards. They're okay, but
No, there was a fourth one. It was called Born Ultimatum with Jason in it.
well, there was Identity. There was
Supremacy.
Supremacy was the second one. Then third one Ultimatum.
Maybe it was Ultimatum,
And
but there was definitely another one where he came back and
with
did
Matt
another one.
Damon.
Yeah. There was definitely a fourth one. It was all right, but the trilogy was the best, 100%. There was another one where they came out with that other actor and it was terrible. Just never was going to
Jeremy
work.
Renner. Yeah, yeah. So the movie was called Jason Bourne, the
There you go.
fourth
Yeah.
one of the with Matt Damon. But yeah, trilogy was excellent.
Yeah.
Can't complain. If you know, you know. If you
Yep.
don't, go
Agreed.
fucking watch it. But yeah, Ben, what's your number
Yep.
two?
Pulp Fiction for me.
Nice.
Masterpiece. Great actors. Quentin Tarantino. Can't fault that movie. Love it. Watched it. It's probably my most watched movie. I've probably watched like 58 times. It doesn't get boring every time.
Yeah, it's very solid one. Yeah, absolutely. Can't complain there.
The Kill Bill series.
I see a trend.
So only two movies there. Yeah, I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan. I think he's a genius. But Kill Bill as well. Also, I like how it's based in Japan. One of the, I think it's the first one.
Mm.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this the fight scenes, everything, mate. It's one of those films that I'd watch over and over again. They said they was going to make a third one, but I don't see how. Can't remember how it ended actually. Oh yeah, they could make a third one, but I don't think they will.
But it's weird because I know that Tarantino said he was only going to do a certain amount of movies.
Yeah, he's got two left, I think, or one left, which is sad because he's only said he's going to do like 10 to 12 films.
Yeah.
Like total.
What do you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Bit long. The best scene was at the end where where Brad Pitt starts smashing that woman's face against the bloody thing.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
I
And then Leonardo gets a flamethrower out.
yeah, I thought it was okay. Definitely not his best.
It was okay, yeah. No, definitely wasn't his best. But he's done some masterpiece movies. Django was great. What else has he done?
Jank.
Trying to think what else he's done. Can't remember. Obviously, he's done Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, Reservoir Dogs. That's a classic.
Yeah.
What else has he done? Yeah, oh, and of course, Inglourious Bastards, one of the best films ever made.
Yeah, that's
Genius, mate.
yeah. I think that's one of my top three movies as well.
Yeah.
My number three, I'm gonna go with a movie, a little bit of a classic, Terminator 2.
Yeah. Brilliant film. Brilliant film.
Arnold, Arnold, and just kind of how we were talking about the Matrix and how these some of these sci-fi movies are starting to become a bit more real. Terminator 2 is no different now with Chat GPT and all this shit. And I don't know if you see like
Yep.
the robots that they're programming. They're doing like TikTok dances and shit. Like what?
I know, man.
Why is this a good idea? Like watch Terminator 2 and tell me that this is a good fucking idea. Like
Yeah.
let's maybe park the AI a little bit.
Robots are taking over. But Terminator 2 was ahead of its game. It's the graphics, everything about it was. It's like made in like 1993 or something. It's so ahead of its time. But all the other Terminators, Terminator 1 was okay. Terminator 3 was actually alright, I thought. Then after that,
91.
yeah, I like Terminator 3. I thought it was alright. Then after that, it's horrendous movies, like shocking.
It's becoming a little bit of a trend with movies, especially now that they're not taking any fucking risks. They're just going with, did this do well? Okay, let's do a sequel.
Yeah.
Let's do a prequel. Let's do another sequel. Okay, let's do a spin-off. It's just
Never works. I can't think of
For-
any movie where it's
we're
worked. Can't think
like
of any.
Ben, we're about the same age. We grew up in the same time with the same movies. We had a lot of really creative movies. Some that we're talking about now, and obviously some others. But like now it's just Marvel, 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 sequel, 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 sequel.
Yeah, I can't watch those Marvel films. Can't do it. It's
No,
too much.
I thought, listen, I remember my first DVD I ever bought was Spider-Man, the first Spider-Man. Oh no, it was X-Men, and I was like, okay, this is interesting, like an interesting new
Yeah.
thing that they're looking to do. Okay, cool, but then it just became repetitive. That they're just, anyways. Enough about that.
Spin-off after spin-off. Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. My number 4. I'm gonna go with Gladiator.
Yeah, Gladiator's all right. Yeah,
Oh man, I love Gladiator. It's a long one,
It's
but
long.
it's
it's long.
I loved it.
Yeah, it is. It is. You'd put it under a classic masterpiece movie. Yeah, it is. It is good. I do like Gladiator. It's not one of those films.
Russell Crowe at his peak.
If you see it on the TV in front of you, I wouldn't go, "Oh, Gladiator's on." But it is a great movie. I've got to agree. Definitely.
It's on to you.
It's on to me. I'm gonna go for. I'm trying to think of a war movie. I'll just go for Saving Private Ryan. Brilliant film.
That's a great one.
Sad.
I was also thinking about a war movie, and I was like, "Fuck, which one
Yeah,
should
it's
I
hard
pick?"
to choose one. Yeah, I was gonna go for a classic.
That was the one.
Yeah, I'd go for a classic like Platoon, or maybe Apocalypse Now. But I thought Saving Private Ryan, the action scenes as well. Right?
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket's a good film, but Saving Private Ryan's
Yeah.
probably the best one out of all of those. Yeah, great film.
Yeah, no, that's great. Spielberg,
Spielberg?
Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Right.
Tom Hanks, good lineup.
Yeah. I watched a good fucking war movie recently. It was All Is Calm Along the Eastern
Yeah,
Front or
I
Western
watched that on
Front.
the plane coming back from South America. It was brilliant.
I just love that it's like a
German side.
It's like a new perspective. Yeah, absolutely. I thought it was so refreshing
Yeah, about time.
from just hearing how amazing the US did it in the war.
Well, it just goes to show, like, all these kids that are just sent to war where they're terrified, and the scenes it shows was mental, like crazy scenes. But yeah, that was a really good film. I think it was just a Netflix movie. It just released on Netflix.
It was a Netflix movie, but like you were saying, I don't want to ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but that scene towards the end where like the guy gets emotional, I was just like, holy shit, like it just felt, like you said, so real. Great movie. It's not one of my picks, but it was great one.
Yeah, so number 5, I'll stick in Shawshank Redemption.
Nice.
Great film. Believable storyline. well written, great actors, masterpiece, mate. I think that's in a lot of people's top tens as well. So yeah, we'll go for the standard Shawshank Redemption.
Andy Dufresne.
Yes.
Yeah, man, that was a sick one. Undeniable. It's one of the highest rated movies of all time, I think. Like on IMDb.
Yeah. There you go. For a good reason. It's a great film.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so my number 5 to cap us off here is John Wick. When I think of action, fight scenes,
John Wick.
I think it has probably it's got probably some of the best fight scenes in terms of story. It's a bit basic, but in terms of fight scenes and action, I'd say it's up there. So my number 5 is with Keanu.
Oh, I've never seen it.
And I think there's a second one that's come out too.
There's like 4. There's like 4 of those movies.
I've only watched the one.
Yeah, I'll have to watch them whilst I've got time here. But I've heard they're good, so yeah, I'll have to give them. I'll give them a bash. John Wick.
Nice. Yeah.
Keanu's a legend.
So I guess he is a legend, Canadian legend. I'm just gonna give people the recap of our 5 best action movies. So for Ben, we've got Goodfellas, Pulp Fiction, Kill Bill, Saving Private Ryan, and Shawshank Redemption. And my picks are The Bourne Identity, The Matrix, Terminator 2, Gladiator, and John Wick. So this will be out. I guess you'll be able to vote on this Sunday. So go check out the Two Beers Till Takeoff Instagram page. So Ben, thanks as always, buddy. This was a great episode. Can you maybe leave the people with what's next? What's going on?
Yeah, just chilling. Like I said, it's focusing on getting healthy again, and then I'll be going to Asia, my favorite continent, in about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and places that I've not filmed before. So Philippines, Mongolia, hopefully China.
Oh shit, nice.
And yeah, should be a blast. Can't wait.
Fucking right, man. Looking forward to those.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you for listening to Two Beers Till Takeoff. Do you want free additional content or just to stay connected with the show? Then give us a follow on our social media platform. That means TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of them. Are you in need of podcast production services, video editing, or anything in between? Then look no further than Strut Sound Productions, the official producer of the Two Beers Till Takeoff podcast. Music produced by Alex Gagne. Check out his work in our show notes. Voiceover done by Viking Leo K. See you next week on Two Beers Till Takeoff.